Hey students, so this video is a video on lab 4.2, which is called You Talking to Me. This is actually probably when I first did it, one of the more complicated labs that I worked on, but I promise once you start getting into it, it actually turns out to be, I'd say, rather easy. It's really just combining items from different lists that we have and combining those items into a new item and then kind of combining that with other items. So you'll see as we go into it kind of what that means, but the first step of the lab is we want to basically create these different lists right here. So you can see I already have them set up, but I have nouns, articles, adjectives, verbs, adverbs, prepositions. So it's just lists of different parts of speech, and we're going to use this to basically construct a full sentence in just a minute. So the first thing that I'm going to do after constructing the different phrases, after constructing the different lists, is to basically construct a noun phrase. So you can see I've already created the variable right here, and we're going to set noun phrase to blank. Well, so what I want to do is for noun phrase, and as the instructions say, give me just a second, we want to combine basically a noun phrase, which is an article, an adjective, and a noun in that order. So one of the most useful blocks we're going to use for this is item of list right here. So you can see item of list, basically this icon right here, these two, this box with the equal sign inside of it denotes a list. So I'm going to join item something of list. Well, the first part of a noun phrase is it lists in the assignment is an article. So this is pretty simple. If you want a random item of a list, you basically go click that drop down and select random right there at the bottom. And now it says item random of blank. I'm going to take, I'm blanking again, an article. So I'm going to put random item of articles, and then I'm also going to duplicate this. I want a space in between each of my words, so that's why I've done 6 spaces right there. I'm going to press space one more time. And now we can say item blank of articles, except for the second two, we don't want it to be articles. We instead want to do an adjective and a noun. So again, it's pretty simple. We take nouns, put it into the list right there, and actually I have a noun at the very last part. I want an adjective instead for my last piece. So I want to put adjective right here. So item random of articles, item random of adjectives, and item random of nouns. So now if we go right here, we say noun phrase. Every time I click my script, you can see it generates basically a different noun phrase based on what I've done. So the next part of this is actually pretty easy. We're basically just going to do exactly what we did, except now we're going to do it for a verb phrase, a prepositional phrase, a verb phrase, and then a full sentence. So what we're going to do is do a prepositional phrase, verb phrase, and sentence. So we're going to do the same thing we just did, except now with new set blocks, right? So I'm going to duplicate. Instead of noun phrase, now I'm going to do a prepositional phrase. You can see I've already created the variable over here. So I'm going to do the drop down, say prepositional phrase down here at the bottom. And I'm going to take out my different parts of speech. I'm going to take out 2 of them because as we can see in the instructions, we basically need a preposition, so a random preposition, as well as a noun phrase. So we've already created the noun phrase. We're going to drag it right here. We're going to say noun phrase comes second, so we're going to click one over there, click noun phrase, and then we're going to say item random of prepositions right here. And now if we go click say noun phrase, instead of saying noun phrase now, we want to say prepositional phrase. So now we can see anytime I click it, under a yellow tree, over the yellow bird, near the fast car. We've already created a noun phrase that's auto-generated, and then it takes a random item of preposition and auto-generates this whole new phrase. So we're basically kind of daisy chaining these randomized phrases together to create a final sentence. So that's actually all I'm going to cover for the first video. Please check out part 2. Where I will go over how to create both the verb phrase, the sentence, and I'll start seeing how we can sort of change our vocabulary there towards the very end.